The new control group warbond is finally here. I've tested every single item in this warbond against all factions on maximum difficulty, and at the end of this video, you guys are gonna have all the information you need to make the decision. If you guys want to purchase this one, if it's worth it, if it's worth buying at all, if it's worth farming for, all of those questions will be answered, and that is the goal of this video in general. And one thing I can easily promise you guys is that no matter what, I'm always going to be super honest about these review videos, no matter if it's war bonds or whatever it is in the future on the channel. Let's start off with the primary weapon. This primary weapon does 85 damage per shot. It also has 49 in the magazine, and the fire rate is 550. On top of that, it has two very cool modes. One mode essentially turns it into a shotgun, so it shoots 7 bullets at the same time, which is pretty good for high damage. But the next one is pretty crazy because it unloads all of the bullets in the magazine into one shot, and it ragdolls you as well, and is actually pretty good. Now, you guys know that in general, I'm not a big fan of primary weapons that are light pen, because I feel like, you know, medium pen weapons, especially plasma weapons, explosive weapons, or weapons that have stagger and also, you know, put enemies on fire, those are always gonna be ahead. But that said, out of the primary weapons that are light pen, this one feels really good, and there is a reason for that. The reason is the modes that it has, and you need to know that you can actually counter the ragdolling if you just dive before you shoot. So you just go to the ground real quick, take a shot, and then just run away and reload and repeat. So diving is kind of your friend when you're using this primary weapon. If you're going for the super heavy hitting mode on this weapon, you can destroy the Hulk weak spot very easily with one shot. When it comes to the charger tails, you're not going to be able to consistently one-shot the tail, even though you're going to be on this mode. However, if you do hit it, it's gonna need a very little extra damage after that, and you will be taking out the tail. It is pretty effective against berserkers, commanders, warriors. The shotgun mode or the normal mode is actually pretty effective due to its high damage per bullet. I think that it's actually pretty good. I had a good time. It felt really good against the illuminate on its normal mode as well. It just melts down zombies and whatnot, and then when you get close to overseers, you can take them out with the shotgun mode. It actually feels pretty decent against the bugs as well, and there's a few other things that you can do to make it better. So for example, you can equip the right armor pieces, and it's just gonna feel better depending on what you're looking for. If you want better handling, go for peak physique, or you can go for better ammo economy as well. But it does have pretty decent ammo economy on its own, and that's probably why I like it also on top of everything compared to the other primary light pen weapons. So yes, if you are a player that enjoys light pen primaries, I feel like you guys are gonna love this. It is the most unique primary light pen weapon for sure, because it has so many different modes, and it gives you the feel of playing different styles even though you're using one weapon. Now let's talk about the plasma weapon, which is also a pretty cool addition to the game. I personally enjoy it. However, it does have an issue, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. But first, let's talk about where it sits and what we can compare it to when it comes to support weapons. Like, the perfect way to explain this weapon would be between Quasar Cannon and a Railgun. So if you don't enjoy the cooldown of the Quasar Cannon, and if you don't enjoy how the Railgun feels, this is literally in the middle. Now, when it comes to mechanics of the support weapon, it works like the Railgun. So if you overcharge, you're essentially cooked. You will explode, your Helldiver will be dead. GG, that's about it. So you gotta be careful. There's definitely a skill gap there, and you have to get used to it. And one of the cool tips I can give you guys is listen to the sound cue as well. Like, the sound is where it's at. If you're not actually scoped in, it will help you a lot. As soon as you hear that sound, give it like 1 more second and then let it go, because if not, yeah, you're cooked. So it does less damage than the Quasar Cannon. For example, if you're going against a charger, you are gonna need 2 charged up shots to the head to take him out. Now, if you're playing against the Hulk, it's pretty much the same, 2 to 3 shots. And then when it comes to the flash mobs, it needs 3 shots usually. That said, it only has 3 in the magazine. I wish it had 4. I think that it would make it much better when it comes to quality of life, and I do not think that it would still feel overpowered at all. It would just not be annoying to have that slow reload used all the time, because 3 shots do go by pretty quickly. Now, that said, if you're playing against the bugs, you can avoid that kind of thing and spend a little bit less ammo when it comes to the chargers by shooting them in the leg with the charged shots, and it just blasts the leg right away. It takes off the armor, and then you can quick swap to your primary and kill the charger that way, like we did in the good old days with the railgun. You know what I mean? But it is in a exactly perfect spot between railgun and quasar cannon. Now, when it comes to the Bile Titans, it takes 3 shots to the head or even around the shoulder area. As long as the explosion is getting around the head area, you are going to be taking them down pretty quickly. And it deals with harvesters in 2 shots as well, as long as you just directly hit him too. So is it a very, very super overpowered tool? No. Is it a strong tool that gets the job done? Yes. And is it something that would benefit from a little bit of a better ammo economy? I think so, right? I think that once again, if it had 4 shots instead of 3, it would make it much better, and still it wouldn't feel broken. Oh, and by the way, it also destroys gunships as well. I almost forgot to mention that, but that's where I first noticed the issue. And this issue was brought up to me by Takibo. Before, I never paid attention, but then when I did, I was like, oh, okay, that is actually true. So the problem is, a lot of the times, the shot does not go where you're aiming. Now, I don't know what causes this. I don't know if this is an intended mechanic. I don't know if this is a bug, but it does happen quite a lot. And you're gonna feel like, okay, I'm gonna take out this gunship, you're gonna take the shot, but you're not gonna be taking out that gunship, because the shot is gonna go right, sometimes a little bit lower, but mostly kind of drifts to the right side. Overall, I still think it's a very solid tool and a cool addition. And out of all of the warbonds that we've received, stratagems like support weapon stratagems haven't always been the greatest. Out of all of the few last ones that we've got, this is one of the best ones. If you enjoy plasma weapons as much as I do, I think you guys are gonna love this one. Let's talk about the laser sentry, okay? This one, not the greatest, depending on which faction you're fighting, but there's a reason why I think it's not the greatest. First of all, the problem it has is that the rocket sentry exists when you're playing against, for example, the bots. And an even bigger problem that it has is its AI. A lot of the times, it doesn't do much to the enemies that are getting close to it. So, for example, if you're fighting the bugs, kind of locks onto enemies that are mid to far range, but honestly doesn't care about the enemies that are getting close. And that gets it destroyed within seconds. Like, I've tried everything. I throw it far away, position it perfectly, then it just melts everything, right? It's doing great. But as soon as they start getting close, even it could be literally one bug, it's going to ignore it completely and lock onto somebody that is like 7,000 meters away, and that bug will kill it within a few seconds, right? So that is something that I really didn't like about it. The damage felt fine, the cooldown felt fine, but if it's going to be destroyed so easily, and if the AI is not going to lock into the threat that it needs to destroy first in order to, you know, just survive for a little bit longer, I'm probably not going to be using it. Does that mean it's bad? No, I don't think it's bad, but if we're ranking it in terms of max difficulty and would I ever bring it compared to some of the other ones, not me. Personally, I would not do that unless I'm trying to laser max and just blast and have a fun time and not care about the performance on max difficulty, then I would. It would be a great addition, by the way, if you run it back to back with the laser cannon, and if it just locks on, for example, on a Bile Titan, that would be cool. Maybe we get an option to mark targets when it comes to bigger targets, and it would just go to that target. That would be sick. Then you could just double laser drill through a Bile Titan, and that would be really fun to watch. But overall, this one is probably the most weaker side of the Warbond, in my opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But now let's talk about the grenade, because the grenade, I didn't think it was going to be good. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the trailer, I didn't think so. And it doesn't replace my gas grenade when it comes to the bugs. I still think that the gas grenade is king. However, when it comes to the other factions, the grenade does slap. Now, it's not bad against the bugs as well. It actually does a pretty good job. But once again, I think that the gas grenade is just more valuable. But when it comes to the bots and the illuminates, it actually does work. The fact that it bounces around and slaps so many enemies and does pretty good damage is very valuable. And I found it way more effective than I thought it was gonna be. I was kind of surprised. I threw it. I was like, okay, it's gonna bounce once. Oh, it bounced again and again and again, and just everything's dying. It's pretty cool to watch, and it is pretty effective. So if you're looking to kind of spice up your grenade gameplay and you're bored of the old grenades as well, pick it up. Now, do I think it's one of the best grenades in the game when it comes to dealing damage? It kind of depends. It's definitely going to be up there. It's not a bad grenade at all. But if you're specifically trying to, perform really, really well on max difficulty, if you're playing against the bots, I still think that the thermite is going to be the best, right? And if you're playing against the bugs, I still think the gas grenade is going to be the best. When I'm playing against the illuminate, I would actually pick up this grenade a lot of the times, and it will perform really, really well because it's mostly like those kind of enemies that it can take care of without any issues whatsoever. So it definitely has its spot in my loadout at the moment. It's just a cool addition to the game. And finally, let's talk about the backpack, because this thing, not gonna lie, man, this is my new favorite item within the game. And I am going to be making a separate video talking about how important this item is to this game in general. And I can't wait to share that video with you guys. But let's talk about performance, right? So the way this functions is, as long as you time your jumps, you essentially end up with a very low cooldown of around 3 to 5 seconds. Now, the reason I say that is you can back to back teleport, but you will die. Or you can back to back really fast and it will break your limb and so on. There's quite a few things it can do to you, right? However, if you get used to the timing and just understand how powerful this tool is when it comes to movement, when it comes to avoiding unnecessary damage, when it comes to absolutely breaking the ankles of chargers, even Bile Titan Spew is nothing, right? You teleport out of the way. Same goes for the flash mobs. You can teleport behind hulks. There's just so many cool things you can do with this backpack, bro. It is easily the most unique and perfectly created backpack within the game. Hands down. Not only that, you can teleport to the sides, you can teleport to the front, you can teleport backwards. It's perfect. It's perfect. In my opinion, hands down, the best backpack in the game when it comes to design, uniqueness, and one of the coolest things about this WARBOND in general, actually, on how much all of these items are going to rely on your skill. Everything has some kind of factor, will damage you or, like break your limb or whatever it is. But the cool thing is it's not too much, right? Like if you master it, the backpack is very strong. It takes skill. It's going to take time to master it. And there's a lot of disgusting things you can do on the battlefield, man. I cannot wait to share all of those things with you guys. Now, when it comes to endgame, one more thing that you need to understand about this war pack isn't just that it's fun, but how much of a difference it's going to make when it comes to gameplay. Once you understand how to manage distance with it, it will take some of the builds that we've already created to a completely next level. And trust me when I tell you, I'm going to be working on a lot of builds for you guys because this one changed the game completely. And I cannot wait to share all of those loadouts that I've tested and I've had tons of fun with. So overall, do I think that this WARBOND is a must-have? Dude, listen to me. You guys know, I always tell you, if you don't buy this WARBOND, nothing changes. You don't fall behind. You shouldn't care. It's not that exciting. I've said that many, many times, right? Because a lot of the WARBONDs were like that, unfortunately. This WARBOND is not one of those WARBONDs. This is an extremely fun and effective WARBOND, something that we haven't received in quite a long time. I'm gonna straight up be honest with you, right? And you guys know how I feel about this in general. The reason for that is the backpack. The reason for that is the primary is pretty good. The plasma weapon is also pretty good. When was the last time we went over a WARBOND and we said, oh, okay, this is pretty good. This is actually good. Okay, this is good. This grenade is actually pretty good. Oh my God, this backpack is cracked. The support backpack is insane. When was the last time we did that, bro? The only thing I can remember is the hover pack. The hover pack was pretty good, right? It was actually tons of fun, but it wasn't even close to the war pack. The war pack takes the gameplay to the next level. And if you're looking for something to refresh that gameplay loop for you, well, then look no farther, man. Pick up this WARBOND because this war pack is exactly that. I'm absolutely in love with it. I got a bunch of surprises for you guys coming up in the next few days. I cannot wait to share it. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts about this WARBOND. Make sure to let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Once again, primary is pretty good. Same goes for the plasma. War pack is cracked out of its damn mind. The laser turret is the only sentry, is the only weaker spot in my opinion, right? And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section about this WARBOND. Once again, thank you for all the incredible love and support. I got tons of more content on the way. As always, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.